Thank you. Let me see. Can you hear me now? Shalonda. No, but you did something. I heard you for a second. How about now? Ah, yay. Thank you so much for coming on to let me know. I don't know why. I did a lot of sound checks to make sure that everybody could hear, and it sounded great. And then I knew as soon as I got on, some crazy stuff was going to go on. Thank you so much for letting me know. So since you couldn't hear, I'm going to start over and make sure everybody heard all that I had to say. Basically, tonight we're going to be talking about pushing through diabetes self-sabotage. And one of the ways we self-sabotage is by not giving ourselves enough grace, by not forgiving ourselves. It's a really important piece in diabetes management. It's a really important piece in life overall. So I felt like I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about this because I want to make sure that you're not just adding up bad experience after bad experience, problem after problem, and you're utilizing these experiences as learning tools and not as whipping stones, if that makes sense, just beating yourself over the head about it. So just to reintroduce myself, for those who are not familiar with me, I'm Carmela Bell, the diabetes success coach and strategist, #1 best-selling author of the book Push Through. I have a son who's a diabetes warrior. He is 11 years old and he's kicking diabetes butt every day, but sometimes it's not easy. I'm also trained in helping people, create the lives that they want, the lives that they've been dreaming for. So if you resonate with this message, then we're in the right team. This message is for you. If you are a type 2 diabetic, if you know that you should be managing better, but you just don't know where to start, you don't really know what to tweak, you don't really know what to change. Seems like making some changes seems like it's changing your entire life, and at times that seems like a little too much to give. This is also for you if you've been recently diagnosed with type 2 and you don't know whether you're coming or going. There's a lot of information out there and it's easy to be an information overload. So this will be for you because I want to get to you before you start making some of these terrible mistakes and just set you on the right track now. So the first thing we're going to get going with is the topic for today, and it is 5 ways to give yourself grace. The way I end up talking about giving yourself grace is by thinking about all the times that I really kick myself. I feel terrible. I mean, like a bad parent. Like, why aren't you doing this better? Like, they're going to be looking at you crazy when you go to this endocrinologist because look at his numbers. Oh my gosh, they trained you, right? You should be able to get this done, right? Right. But the deal is, when you're managing a child versus being yourself an adult, has totally different dynamic. Because as an adult, you get to decide when you eat, when you don't eat. You get to decide what you're going to drink, what you're not going to drink. And you'll say, it's 8 o'clock. I'm not going to eat after 8 o'clock tonight. I have to negotiate every single meal, every single day of every year of my life with this boy because he's a growing boy. He's 11. His appetite is booming. His energy is booming. He wants to eat everything, just like most boys do. All you parents out there who have older kids, you already know what I'm talking about. So I know I got to learn, but we can't turn back now, so we may as well figure it out, right? Well, in the process of figuring it out, I've spent so many times, we go to restaurants, we go to birthdays, and I have to make these big, important choices. Okay, what is he going to eat? How much is he going to eat? And how many units am I going to give? I have to count carbs for all this food. How do I really keep up with it? You go to birthday parties, everybody does not have labels on their food. So sometimes we do have to guesstimate, which we've gotten pretty good at. But it's a process. You go, so I'll just give you an example. For instance, when even now, but more so when he was younger, we would go to birthday parties. Most birthday parties for kids, what do they have? Pizza. Their favorite thing, they love pizza. And they have pizza and chips and juice, cake and ice cream. Well, he wants the same things everybody else has, right? Right. So we let him have the pizza. We let him have a juice. We let him have cake and ice cream. We calculate it all, give him units. He's running around like a crazy person, having a great time. We get home 2-3 hours later, check the blood sugar. It's high. Man, what the heck? Why is it high? I counted those carbs like nobody's business. He should not be high. Oh, well, he is. And there are a lot of factors on why he would be. And the deal is push these units. So I'm giving him a shot. It's 11 o'clock. Wake up at 2 o'clock, checking him again. He's still high, giving him another shot. Wake up at 4 o'clock. He's still high, giving him a few more units. Then he goes to school. And, it takes all these hours. Sometimes it can take a half a day to kind of get him back on track if his blood sugar was too high. And that's something you don't want. But I spend all night up checking his blood sugar, pushing units, half sleep, can't even see, out of the glucometer, looking at the glucometer in the dark, trying to poke a finger. It's crazy. All because I allowed him to indulge in a simple thing that other kids get to do. Birthday party food. So after the first time I felt bad, but I was ready. Okay, what am I going to do the next time? Then the next time it happened again. Then maybe the next time we did okay. But then the time after that, we didn't do good. And after these times add up, and then it's not birthdays, it's restaurants. You look at the nutrition facts on the menu and they tell you how many carbs. And we're like, yeah, okay, we have carb counts. And we give his units and we think we're doing great. And then we get home and he's high. Wait a minute. They said that meal was 60 carbs. It's acting like that meal was 90 carbs. Again, I'm in that whole hustle of pushing units. I feel terrible because when he's high, he doesn't feel good. It's not a good feeling within his body to have a high blood sugar, and I feel bad. I feel like I should have done better. So after all these times and all these attempts of me not getting it right, I started feeling down. I started kicking myself. I should be able to do this better. These endocrinologists are going to think that I don't know what I'm doing. They're going to think that, we're just reckless, letting him eat everything. And then, if he has these high blood sugars, then what does that mean for all the diabetes complications? I'm killing my son. I got all these things on my mind. And one day they just piled on me like a ton of bricks. And I had to get real about it and say, wait a minute, hold up. You got all this negativity swirling in your brain. Let's do a fact check. Fact check, what's true? Did you let him eat excessively? Like, did he have 12 pieces of pizza, 5 pieces of cake, 4 cups of ice cream, about 10, 12, 34 ounces of juice? No, he just had what everybody else had. Okay, well, those kids don't have diabetes and he does, but he ate what everybody else ate, right? Did you attempt to give him insulin? Or did you just let him run recklessly and just eat whatever and just say, I'll deal with it later? No. I tried to count carbs. I tried to give insulin. Yeah, okay. So you tried to do it. You tried to get it right. So then how much of this weight should you carry? Was there something for you to learn? Because one thing that is true in our fact check is your numbers were off. So where do we go wrong in the numbers? So I had to get clear with myself and rethink about it. Okay, I see. Well, even though we counted 60 carbs for the 2 slices of pizza, the pizza slices were thicker than he normally eats. I should have given him more coverage for that pizza. Now I figured it out. That's where I went wrong. I didn't count enough for the pizza. So next time, I'll know to count more for the pizza, right? I'll know to pay attention to what type of slices. The thick crust versus hand tossed versus thin, extra thin. I know to pay attention to that and to adjust my insulin levels accordingly. So after we do this fact check, how much did I really do wrong? One thing, but it really wasn't intentional. Is it enough to kick myself into the duration? No, it is not. So this is the topic for today. Give yourself grace. The first step in giving yourself grace is fact checking. Acknowledge the feelings and what has happened. If you are feeling down about how poorly things are going for you in diabetes land, just sit there and be one with it. You know, man, I'm really crap. I'm messing up again. I am really just doing too many things wrong. Shoot, self. We got to get this together. You know, whatever feelings you feel, if it's disappointment, if it's frustration, if it's sadness, if it's anger, if it's resentment. I hate this freaking diabetes. I wish I didn't even have this. Then I wouldn't have to worry about this. That could be it too, you know? Feel the feeling. Acknowledge the feeling. Don't try to push through it like Hulk going through a big old cement brick wall. That's not going to help you. You can't move around it. Our whole topic is push through, but sometimes we have to sit with things, and you need to sit with what you're actually feeling and what has happened. Then the second step you want to do is write out all the possible solutions. Think about, because you could have totally different scenarios. I'm sure you do. Totally different scenarios for things that are not going right for you. For instance, I was thinking my aunt. My aunt had things where she didn't test her blood sugar, like I told you, until she was high. So she often felt bad that she had high numbers. Well, what's the solution? I could start kind of creating a better plan to test my blood sugar. If I only test it once every 2 days, then how about I make a strategy to check it once each day? Your doctor's instructions might be for you to test 3 or 4 times a day, but we're not talking about what goes on in the land of perfect, and we're going to get there, but we're not there right now. We're not going to overwhelm you trying to be where you want to be in the end. We want to start where we are right now. And right now, the plan, one of the better solutions, it would be to test at least once a day. If I'm not testing but once or twice a week. So that's just an example. So after we acknowledge how we feel about this diabetes crap and how everything is not going right, these numbers not looking good, my A1C is high as heck, my feet hurt, my head hurt, I'm tired of all these stupid symptoms because I know when I get high, I get blind, I can't see stuff, all kinds of stuff happens. I even know a guy who gets the numb arm, where his arm will basically get numb and he can't even feel it. So sit with those thoughts and feelings. Number 2, write out your solutions. Write out everything that you think you could do to solve some of these problems. Think about it if you're not a writer. Speak it into your phone or recorder if you like doing that. But whatever the case, I really need you to get it down on something. Write out the steps that you think you could employ in order to get back on track. So just write it out. This is not planning phase. We're just thinking. So for instance, let's say, again, with the testing, you know you're not testing. Okay, so obviously a solution is test more. But how often? Because I really hate testing. Test strips are really expensive. I don't have time for that. This is stupid. I don't like it. Okay, we get all that. But what can you do one step better than you're doing now? Well, if I only test 3 times a week, I'm going to add an extra day. All right, once you get that extra day, we're going to back it up and we're going to keep on going forward. Take baby steps, man. We don't have to win the race all at once. So if you are, say, drinking sugary sweet drinks, you like that tea on that ice right before you go to bed at night, or Dr. Pepper or orange soda, or whatever it is you love that you know you shouldn't drink, that's just sending your blood sugar sky high, you do it every night before you go to bed, because that's your routine. You know, this is my ritual. Like, I've been doing this for years, right? You mean stop? No. Yes. We mean create a plan for success. If you do this every single night, 7 nights a week, can we cut down a day? Could we cut down 2? Could we possibly move it up a little earlier? Could we decrease the portion size? There are a number of ways to meet your need and do this thing differently. I know that we've heard we got to cut everything out in order to do the right thing and live the best way, but it's really, that's why people don't succeed, because we jump out trying to take this big step at one time and we're not ready. We got to grow into it. So think about, write out your strategies on all the things that you could do to deal with the problems that you were thinking about in step 1. Then step 3 is actual create a plan. Out of all the things you wrote down, choose a couple. Especially if you have different issues, if it's testing your blood sugars, or say you're one of my beautiful friends who don't take their supplies everywhere they go, don't have their car stocked with juices and snacks in case you have a low, then you might have different solutions for different issues. Pick one solution per problem or opportunity and focus on that. But I still don't want you to go over 3. Stick to 3. So if you have 3 problems, 3 solutions, that's it. Then I want you to execute, meaning try. Just try. Try to see how well your plan can be implemented into your daily life. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Don't go back to kicking your butt. Don't go back to being frustrated, because it's not going to serve you. It's not going to help you. It's just going to weigh you down. In order for us to keep our energy right for diabetes, in order for us to be ready for each day, we got to let the bad stuff go, because there's more bad stuff coming. It's just how it works. There's so many ways to do things wrong in diabetes. So you got to let yesterday go. You got to learn what you need to learn, create a new plan, execute on that plan, and then let it go. That's number 5. Let it go. You cannot hold on to these things. I know some of you are working so hard. You're eating right. You're exercising, and it took you a long time to get back out there and start moving around. You're, watching your portions. You cut down your sugar. But somehow your blood sugar is still high. You still can go all day with a good blood sugar, and then all of a sudden, bam, here goes 300 at night. Well, we need to triage and figure out what is the problem. What's causing that high? That's just the problem we need to solve, but it's not one you need to beat yourself up about. Now, we've gone over a couple of topics. I want you all to give me some hearts, give me some comments. Let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. Let me know if you've ever been in a place where you need to let some stuff go because it's just weighing you down too heavy. We can't move with 1,000 pounds of sand on our back. We cannot. So how are you going to be able to wake up tomorrow energetic and ready to go, and you got these 20 pounds of sand on your back? You can't do it. So I want to encourage you to let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. I don't care. It happened yesterday. Let it go. Today's a new day. Let it go. What was the lesson we learned? We learned we need to add more carbs for that pizza and get more units. That's what we learned. Let it go. On the list of things to do in the future. That's it. So this is what grace is all about. It's about forgiveness. It's about letting it go. We have a lot of ways and places where people judge us. Your family is telling you, shouldn't you know how to manage this by now? Shouldn't you be doing better at this by now? I thought you already knew how to count carbs. Don't you know how to read a label? Ugh, isn't that a lot of soda? I mean, they got a million things they like to tell us, but do they really know what you go through? Do they know what you feel like in the morning when you wake up in your high or when you wake up in your low? Do they know all the worries that go through your mind every day, wondering if you're going to have your foot, toe, leg amputated? Do they know how often you worry about whether or not you're going to end up on dialysis? How many times have they tried to be a part of your solution? Probably never. And if they tried and you didn't want to let them, we'll work on that later. It's okay. But I want you to give yourself some grace. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm here for you. I want to answer anything you need. Thank you to the people who are on with me tonight. I sure appreciate you stopping by. But I also want to just remind you that this is a free challenge that I'm doing this week because I love diabetics, because I'm the kind of person who believes that everybody is entitled to a good life. I believe that even type 2 and type 1 diabetics deserve to live a good life. I believe that a good life should not be only available to the other people. You know, I hear doctors talking real negatively about people who have diabetes. Oh, type 2 diabetes is a condition of, it's a, what is it they say about food? It's a food disorder. Be that as it may, but did we talk about how they poisoned our food and made us addicted to it? No, they don't talk about that part. So it's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that are not your fault. a lot of pieces to the puzzle that are not your phone. And I just need you to start today by giving yourself some grace. And the way we do that, just to recap before we go, is to do a fact check and actually acknowledge how you feel about the situation. Fact check and see what's true and what's not true while you're kicking your own butt. Then write out all the possible solutions that you feel could solve the problems. Next, you want to create a written plan of the 3 things that you're going to do for 3 different issues, or if it's just one issue, one solution. Just one thing you're going to do per problem to turn things around, because we're only taking little baby infant steps. And then you execute, you try it out, see how it goes along in the world. See if it fits you. If it doesn't, change it, tweak it. It's your life. You're going to succeed. I already know it. So just try something different. And then I want you to let go of all the negative feelings. That's all. That's what giving grace is about. And I want to extend it to everybody, because it took me a long time to pull myself out of that dark hole. There was nobody here to tell me, girl, let it go. Girl, it's all right. No, there was nobody here. I had to do it myself. So I just want to give you the shortcut. I don't want you to have to suffer like I did. And so if you are, I hope this information, I hope you found something helpful here. If you did, make sure that you share this with your friends. Make sure that you invite them to the challenge. In the description box, I posted the link for you to sign up, because on Thursday, day 5, we're going to have a master class, and I'm going to go in deeper talking about the 3 A1C secrets that every type 2 diabetic needs to know to succeed in diabetes. So I don't want you to miss it. If you sign up for this free challenge, you'll get all the reminders so you won't miss it, and you'll get some of the free goodies that I'm also going to be giving away on Thursday. And you'll have your seat reserved for the masterclass. I don't want you to miss it. So share, share, share. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. Send me your feedback. I'm only doing this for you. So if there are topics that you need to discuss that I haven't talked about, I want to know. I'm sure I have something to say about it. So anywho, make sure to sign up for the free challenge, save your seat for the webinar, or not webinar, the masterclass. And I just want to wish you a good night. I want you to be well, test often, and don't believe the hype. Let it go.